It's a great day at Quilt Culture, every day full of joy. I'm Natalie, and today we're going to show you how to make mini aprons for Autism. So we launched the program beginning of January, and we've had huge support. We appreciate you so much. This is our little mini apron. You may not know, but a lot of children get diagnosed with autism at about age 3, so preschoolers. And so we needed a smaller apron so that it would fit their cute little bodies. So if you would subscribe to our channel, the subscriptions help us greatly. Please pass the word. We're always looking for people that are willing to spend a few minutes sewing an apron and helping a child and a family. And it's really important and near and dear to our hearts. So mini apron, here we go. All right, here we go. Material list: 1 yard of batik fabric. We got it. Thread, a giving heart filled with joy. I think everybody has that. So square up the bottom edge if needed, and then cut 2 pieces, 4 inches by width of fabric. These will be used to make the ties. So we modified this a little bit because the 4-inch is so much easier to turn than the 3-inch. And so we will square up the bottom, right like that. And then 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and bam, ties. Okay, so set those aside. Then cut 9 inches off the width of fabric. Make sure you're cutting off the width, not the length. Do not just cut 9 inches. This is where you have to open it up. You grab the selvage, you fold it in half like this, right? And we cut 9 inches off of the width. So you're going to cut one of the selvages off. The first time I did this, I messed it up. So don't be surprised if you do too. It's okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 inches off the width. Got it. All right, set that aside. If you make a bunch of these, you'll have a nice collection to make a scrap quilt. All right, 9 inches off the width, and then refold the fabric. Press a new center fold, a new factory fold. So we fold it in half like this, right? Here's your old factory fold. What we're going to do is we're going to just iron that, get rid of the old one, make a new one. All right, we have our new factory fold. We've gotten rid of the old one as best as we can. So fold the salvages to meet the new factory fold. So this is just like the child's apron at this point. So we take the selvage or the cut edge that you just did, you fold it up here to meet the factory fold, and then what I do is I just pinch it right here, and then ba-bum, and done. So now it is accordion folded, let's call it. And we have on this end the selvage, the fold, and then the cut edge, and on this end is 2 folds, okay? So then you're going to put your pattern. Our little mini fits on 1 page. Awesome, right? Stick that right there on the factory fold, okay? And we're going to cut it out. So some of the batiks might be a little skinny, a little fat. Either way, it's okay. It's meant to be flexible. So we'll cut out the arms, cut down the shoulder, and cut out the neck. All right, now your apron is cut out, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and off we go to sew. So now we have our 2 straps. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fold them in half long ways, and we are going to zip down a 1/4 inch seam allowance to make 2 straps for the apron. Okay, here we go. Number 2, and then I'm going to show you how to turn them with a hemostat. An 8-inch hemostat seems to be ideal. If you have a longer one, that would be even better. Shorter one might be a little harder. lot of people have those fancy turners, whatever you've got to make it easy. The apron is supposed to make you joyful. Okay, so 2 straps. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn these straps. Hemostat, ready? Zip it on there. Then we're going to open the hemostat. We're going to grab hold of it on the end and stuff it in there so you can clamp down on it. And then once you get it going the right way, it's pretty easy. And it's kind of like those clowns that take that paper stuff out of your nose. Like, whoa, ah, like magic, right? So you're going to do that 2 times. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to iron them flat. When we press them flat, we're going to press them with the seam up, right? And so that way, don't put the seam in the middle. We want to put the seam up, and that way when we sew it to the apron, we can sew it with the seam down. Okay, we have them ironed flat. Seam is on the top. They're beautiful. And now what we're going to do, cut 12 inches off of one end of both of the ties. So I measure 12 inches. I simply fold them in half together like this. Take my giant scissors and whammo. We've got 12 inches off, so we have 2 different size ties, and then we're going to set those aside. Now, apply a rolled hem. This is everybody's favorite part. I know it's mine. So we have our cute little apron. Oh my goodness. And we're going to apply a rolled hem to arms and neck. All right, so if you look at it, all the curved parts. So we're looking at the neck here, then this armhole, and then this curved neck. We're skipping the flat parts because those are the shoulders. All right, so very carefully, what we want to do is we want to turn down just a little piece like this, maybe an 1/8, less than a 1/4 if we can. All right, and because it's batik, we can press it there with our finger, and then we want to get started. And because it's on a curve, it's going to stretch a little bit. So we just roll it over like this, and then we sew it. Now, admittedly, the neck ones, those are the easy ones. The arm ones are a little bit more challenging because they have a tighter turn. So just go slow, make it small, right? Itty bitty. And once you get going, you should be able to make the turn. When you get into the tighter part of the turn, you're gonna have to make it a little bit smaller. But as long as it's folded over and that raw edge is sealed in there, that's all we need. Nobody's gonna look inside the armpit to scrutinize how small that is. So we go ahead and roll that over, and like I say, just work it using that little bit of stretch because it's cut on the bias, and it'll just take you a few minutes to work your way around. And notice that I'm pushing the apron this way, and kind of that straightens it out to where I'm headed down the path here, and that helps with the rolled hem. It helps make that little turn for you. So here we go. Just kind of smooth it out. And when you get to the end, be sure you keep it small down here because you want your shoulders to line up. All right, so took a little bit longer, but it was successful, did what it needed to do. Now we got the neck portion. That one's going to be easier, like I said, because it's a more gradual curve. So we'll go faster. There we go. And, oh, now, look at that. I veered off, so I'm just going to go back and re-pick that up. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I get going too fast, out of control. All right. There we go. There we go. It's good, right? And one more arm. Again, it's a little slower, but just keep your little rolled hem nice and tight, right? Use your finger to press it down so that it stays. Push this around so that you keep going in the right direction, you know? And a little bit tricky, but it can be done. Even if it's skinny, it still counts. There we go. Okay. That wasn't so bad. I realized just now that I was sewing with my mouth open the whole time. I'm focused. All right, last little bit here, and the rolled hemming will be done. The curves anyway. We still have to do a little bit of hemming on the back. Ta-da! Okay, so we just finished the rolled hem on all of the curved portions, and now we do have to do a little bit more rolled hemming. It's going to be on the back. So you just finished here, you took it out of the machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to hem this straight edge going down from the curved neck portion, and we're going to hem it in the same direction that we just hemmed this, towards the inside. So we're going to do this side, and then even though the other side has a selvage, we want them to match. And so we're going to do the other side too. So this side first, and then we'll go back over here and we'll do this side. Here we go. All right. Now, this should go a lot quicker because it's straight. And this rolled hem can be slightly larger if you want it to be, you know, about 1/4 inch, give or take. There's no exact math on it. And so we'll do the other side. Okay, and then we do the other side. All right, easy peasy. Just turn it over about 1/4 inch or so. And we'll zip that side up, and then that will be the back hemmed. No sweat. All right. Looky there. No sweat. All right, so now we have the rolled hem on the back, hem the back edges with a small rolled hem the bottom of the apron by turning up the bottom twice and stitching along the top. Now, thus far, we have turned all of our rolled hemming towards the inside of the apron, okay? This is towards the inside, this is towards the inside. However, when you do the bottom edge, which is this one that hasn't been hemmed yet, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it the opposite way, because this portion gets folded up to make the pocket, and we want that little bit of hem to be towards the inside of the pocket. Don't worry if you do it the wrong way, it's okay. It will look good either way, but ideally. So we're gonna lay this rolled hem that we did towards the inside down on our table, and we're gonna take this raw edge here for the bottom, and this is kind of closer to a half, maybe. I don't know if you can see this rolled hem there, but kind of closer to a half. Want it to be a little bit more substantial because pockets get a lot of use. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch right here on this edge, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back right away, and we're going to go ahead and do a stitch right here on the top edge of what's going to be the top edge of the pocket, like a reinforcement stitch. Ready? Here we go. All right. So we turn that, and then what we're going to do, go over here and do just a little hem. These aprons are so cute. I have a feeling that this is going to give a child joy. All right, now as soon as we get to the end, what I'm going to do is take it out of the machine. I'm going to go right back to the beginning. Right back to the beginning and do my second line. Right here, ready? Easy peasy. Now we're going to fold the bottom hem, which is the wide one we just did. We're going to fold it up 5 inches and we're going to press a line. There you go. Now, we are going to, let's see, oh, right. We are going to sew along the bottom edge that we have just ironed on the bottom of the pocket. Just like on the top edge of the pocket, it's going to create a nice little detail and give that pocket a little bit more stability. So, just right down on the edge. All right, look at that. Beautiful. Then we are going to make pockets. So we're going to need to sew the ends closed, and then we're going to make pockets. I generally sew like a couple of lines before the center and then a couple of lines after the center. There's really no right or wrong. Pockets come in all shapes and sizes, just like people. I do go back and forth over the top edge though, to be sure to give it a little extra stability. So I think a pocket line here. And a pocket line here. And a pocket line here. And one more right here. Don't forget to close this end up. All right, now we have pockets. Glorious. All right, now what's next? Let's see. All right, we're going to attach some straps. Now, I lay this in the machine. We're going to do face up, and we're going to do, here's our new factory fold. Don't get confused. There might be a faint line from the old one, that the new one's going to be in the middle, right here. So we are going to do it face up with the pockets here, and we're going to put on our straps. So the two short ones we're going to set aside. Those are later. These are the two long ones, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that we know which end is the cut end versus the salvage end, because the cut end is what we're going to sew to the apron, okay? And so what it wants you to do is measure up and over 3 inches. Now, you can take a ruler. If you make enough of these, you can eyeball it. But what we're going to do is we are going to take one strap. We're going to do the seam down towards the pockets, okay? And we are going to go up and over 3 inches. So here's our center fold, and here's our ruler, 3 inches from the top of the pocket, right? 3 inches up and 3 inches over. So right here, we're going to lay our strap, and we're going to let it hang over about 1/4 of an inch because we have to sew there. Okay, so if you just lay it in there like that, you can position it, and then you can just set your ruler aside, and you can just sew it just like that, okay? And then after you're done sewing it down, what we want to do is we want to make the strap go the right way, and we're going to take a little tuck. So you're just going to tuck in that raw edge of the strap, right? You're just going to tuck it over. It's going to make a little pleat here, and then we're going to stitch it down again, and that's going to encapsulate that raw edge, and so that it does not fray out. Okay, super simple. So now that we did the one, we're going to do the same exact thing to the other one. We're going to lay our ruler here, 3 inches to the top of the apron, 3 inches up. We're going to take our other strap. Oh, that's the selvage edge. That's not the one we want. We want the cut end. That's the cut end. And we are going to lay it so that the strap goes off the wrong way, and line it up right with the top of that, right? About a 1/4 inch over, so that you can sew. And then we're going to slide it into the machine here while we hold it in place. If you need to pin it, you can pin it, whatever makes you happy. Sew that real quick like that, and then we're going to fling this over so it's going the right direction, and then we're just going to give it a little tug so it makes a little pleat there, and we're going to go right back and we're going to sew that down, and that way, bam, nice sturdy ties. So we have the shoulder seams. We're going to do a French seam, right? We're going to put those raw edges together, and we're going to make it so that it's the right sides out. We're going to sew it once, and then we're going to flip it right inside out immediately, and we're going to sew it again. Okay? Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, then turn it right over, and if your thread comes undone, you have to rethread it, which is what I just did. Then you're going to sew it again. So what that does is that is going to encapsulate the raw edges with a French seam. Now some folks, they don't like this large French seam hanging out inside of the apron, and so if you would like to, you can go ahead and sew that down, and so that way it's not so bulky. And it'll look like that on the outside. It'll just have a nice little seam. So you're going to do that to both sides, right? You want to make sure that you line it up so that your shoulders, when you put them together to sew it the first time, you want that strap on the outside. You want the outside of the apron here, okay, when you do your first seam on the shoulders. Line it up simply. Do a small seam. Flip it right over. While you're still right there, do a little bit bigger seam, like a 1/4 inch, maybe an 1/8 inch on the first, 1/4 inch on the second, right? And then, like I say, if you don't like that flap hanging out while you're still right here, you can just push it to the back and go ahead and sew that down. And that way it'll make it nice and flat for the shoulders. Looks amazing. Okay, so we're almost done. Super cute. All we have to do is our last 2 ties. So find your cut ends. This is important. Cut ends. And then you're going to lay your apron down here, and we're going to make sure that your seam allowance is facing down towards the bottom of the apron. Okay, and what we want to do is we want the straps ultimately to go this way, right, towards the back. So first we're going to sew them the opposite way. So we're just going to lay them on here. Now you want to leave it in a little more than a 1/4 inch, because you are going to have to fold this over. So give or take a little more than a 1/4 inch, thereabouts. And you're going to sew that down, and then right away flip it right over and then sew it again, because we're encapsulating those raw edges so that the apron will wear better. See? Easy peasy, nice and smooth. And while you've got it here, this thing is so tiny, you practically do them side by side. Let's see, cut end. Yep, here's the cut end facing down. We want it this way, so we're going to flip it that way, and we're going to sew it down once, and then immediately right after. Right? Flip it right over, sew it one more time. And last thing, gotta have a label. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew the label onto the bottom edge of the pocket. Thank you. Aprons for Autism, handmade by. Okay, put it right there in the corner and sew it down all the way around on 4 sides. And we are going to need a marker because this apron was made by Yaya. That's me. That's what my granddaughters call me. So you're going to sign it, Yaya, and then you will be done with your apron. So let's see. Super cute, absolutely adorable. We have the front, we have nice straps, we have the back, and some lucky child is going to be busy as a bee in this bee apron. And isn't that fantastic? So, heart filled with joy? Yes. And we thank you. Hope you had fun making it. And if you need any help from us, you can always contact us. Either call us through our website, www.quiltculture.art. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and spread that joy. Thanks so much.